it's Bonnie. Sorry for any buzzing that you hear in the background. My computer likes to hyperventilate every time I decide to go record, and I'm next to something else that buzzes on and off. But hopefully it doesn't pick up that well. I've checked before and it wasn't very noticeable. But anyway, this is another episode, I guess, in the what happened to this thing, usually a website. And this time we're talking about chicken smoothie. So, first, what is chicken smoothie? If you know what Neopets is, it's kind of like that. And if you don't know what Neopets is, then good. Don't look it up for the love of God. I mean, unless you're into Scientology or something. I don't know. I don't even know what Scientology is. Chicken Smoothie is a website where you adopt virtual pets. You can dress up your pets and trade them with other players. You can trade pets, items, and chicken dollars, which is the website's like virtual currency, which you do need to pay real money if you want any, unless somebody trades it with you. I think you understand. You can also post art. I don't though, because why would I do that? I don't feel like it. This site is most geared towards children, with the colorful pets and everything, but now people of all ages play it, and there are strict COPPA rules in place to protect the children who are still on this site. I think the general audience at this time are like teens to young adults, but people who are much older, parents, honestly, like with their children, do play this game, and kids who are very young also play this game. Now, I've only been on this site since December of 2021. Not as long as most of these people, but I'll tell you that I've seen some stuff. So, I have my account, obviously, and I have favorites. They all kind of have the same general design. Stitches kind of look like plushes, but they're all very neutrally colored. You know, I have second favorites that are like, they're very autumn themed, very cute. But then I also have a wish list. Now this is important. Listen to this. Everybody has a wish list. You can make a wish list. You can make them for pets and items. Now, the goal of it is that when somebody trades with you, they can look at what they have, and it'll star something if it's on the other person's wish list or if it's on yours. So you get, it kind of, I guess shortens the time that you have to look for pets. You don't have to like comb through somebody's collection. It's kind of helpful, actually. But here's the thing. I'm sure it's pretty obvious, but every pet has a different rarity. There's this little bar at the bottom that says if it's OMG so common, uncommon, common. I think there's also like OMG so rare. There's a lot. And that rarity is determined by how many people have that pet at the end of its adopt cycle, or something like that. I don't know, they update it, and they updated it somewhat recently, so a bunch of stuff has moved around, rarities. And I have one that I've never been able to get because no matter how hard I try, I can't understand the rarity list. When people try to explain it, they use a bunch of lingo that I don't understand. Short things like saying UC for uncommon, or PPS for Peter Pan syndrome, which is like pets that never grow up from a certain age, are understandable, but there are also other things that I don't understand. Like, I think somebody typed LSCG, I don't know what that means. And it feels like unless you've been on this site since the very beginning, you're going to need a master's degree to understand any of this. Now, despite all that, the site seems all fine and dandy on the surface. That is until a certain point. I've been having an okay time, although I do plan on deleting my account soon because of reasons. However, some people have not had a very okay time. The first thing that I'm going to read to you is a rant from a user called Cookie1992, who I believe I've actually traded with before. And yes, I'm going to read in this entire rant, so get comfy. They titled the rant, "What Happened to the Community?" This was posted on Wednesday, January 3rd, 2018 at 6:27 a.m. This is one of the oldest things we're going to read, however, it still holds true. It reads, quote, "This is a bit of a rant/discussion, but something that I can no longer deny. I've started here late 2008, meaning I did see how people were in the first years of this site. Back then, there was no list, and the oldest pets were the hardest to trade for, but by no means impossible to trade for. If you want someone's '08 Rose dog, then you simply offered stuff they still needed, even if it was a bit more recent. Halfway through 2011, I had enough of it all. A few pets were too elusive, and I was rather unlucky with my draws from all December 18th boxes, but also with the general monthly outcomes. Real quick, on December 18th, they will re-release pets that are rare or sometimes very rare, and people are always very excited for that. I think it's kind of like a Christmas thing, but anyway. I missed out on several rare ones, and after just one more denied trade request for one of those missed monthly outcomes, I simply couldn't care coming on to adopt. But I didn't feel like giving away everything to random people either, so there my account sat, frozen for about 5 years. Early December 2016, I thought about CS and decided to take a look. The advent was fun enough to keep coming back, and I started trading for the dogs I missed out on the 5 years of my absence. Within 2 weeks, I had traded for just about all the dogs I missed out on, besides a handful of the harder pets, including several older store pets, the ultra-rare tiger, ultra-rare holly, ultra-rare cookie, purple swirl, and July PPS. It didn't take me long to realize stuff had changed. With my account that had been frozen in time, I had plenty of old stuff to offer for the less old stuff that I missed out on. But what people trading with people turned out to be a pain to deal with these days. They worded that sentence very poorly. Sorry. But my pet is on the list was a commonly heard phrase. While I offered them a ton of old rares/very rares that were all on their wish list and missing from their collection. And even a few nice people declined my trades because I was being too generous towards them. I've actually had people decline trades for commons and uncommons because their pet was 3 months older. 3 months! These days, people feel like a bunch of greedy asses around here. I just realized that was a swear word. I am so sorry. Having a freaking pet on some fan-made list doesn't mean you have the right to ask for about 1,000+ rare or very rare pets. Whatever happened to everyone just wanting to complete their collection and helping each other along? Of course, I get that a pet from 2009 is worth more than 2015. I get that a pet is very rare and wanted is more valuable than just a pet labeled very rare, and by all means you should try to get a good deal, but people get real. People should care less about what is on that stupid list and think more about what they want. If you want that September '08 Rose dog, and you have a September '08 Leopard dog, then you don't need to swap that Leopard dog for someone's 1,000 very rares just because they don't own the freaking Rose dog. Honestly, I for one gladly overpay someone so we can both get out of a trade happy. I don't care the slightest about giving you an '09 rare for your 2014 rare if that pet is what I want to add to my collection. At that moment especially. If that person wasn't around in 2009 and doesn't have the riches to get those kinds of pets. But the richer people get around here, the more greedy they become. And I truly wonder how many extra accounts those rich people have, or else how many new players they had to scam to be as rich as they are today. And I'm pretty sure about 90% of the rich people, meaning having at least 5 to 10 spare high mainless pets, or 5 to 10 spare ultra rare pets they are looking to trade, will yell at me for this, but I'm pretty sure most of the boy people understand this rant very well. It is painfully impossible to get anything. I have 7 OMG So Rares on my wish list, and I'm pretty sure I'll never get them all unless I get a lucky chance in the December 18th draw, or very lucky at the pound. Which the pound is you can get pets from accounts that have been deleted. It's not great. It doesn't really work that well in my opinion. Anyway. I'm someone that joined right at the beginning, but now almost 10 years later, I feel I'm still that new person that joined a few weeks ago, just because I've been unlucky in the 4 or 5 chances I had to get an ultra rare or any other list pet on the December 18th, and I have too much decency to rip off the new players of theirs. Okay, I'm so sorry I stuttered during that. I've been doing that when trying to read these, because they don't always word the sentences correctly, and sometimes I have to pause. I'm sorry, it's just the way I talk. But I think you can kind of understand what they're getting at. And if you don't, I have a second one. This one is a rant from a user called Pantora Discants. I don't know if I said that correctly. Or it's something like that. This one brings up the trading again and explains the exact part of demand very well, as in pets that are demanded more by the community. So this is titled, Does Anyone Else Feel Like Demand is Killing CS? This was posted on Monday, December 23rd, 2019 at 12:31 p.m. So, newer than the other one, still pretty old, still holds true. And it reads, Hey guys, so I've been a part of this site since 2009, just a year after it started. Forgot to mention it started in 2008. And I've been around for many of CS's major challenges such as rarity changes, events coming and going, and the rarity list. It's always been such a fun and colorful site full of welcoming players, incredible artists, and moderators who worked hard to keep it a safe and fun website to spend hours on. I would always log in every month or so, collect my monthly pets, and move on, but I never truly got into it until the last 4 years. Now I have my big dreamies, just like everyone else, and the rarity list made it easier to judge what was a fair trade and what really wasn't, even if it was unofficial. Everyone just treated it like it was. And I've unfortunately been swindled / taken advantage of my fair share of times. And it sucks. But these days, it seems that the dreamies everyone wants, examples are Cerubius, Marionette, Eat Me, Drink Me, Dog, Milk Dragons, Now Dogs, etc. They got ridiculously lucky that someone actually gifted one of their dreamies, but if that didn't happen, they probably wouldn't have gotten it. Anyways, they're ridiculously hard to come by, which is understandable given when they came out and how many had them. In addition to that, there became the demand section of trading. Also understandable. But by the time that was established, the CS train economy had been born. Eventually, demand became the basis almost everyone uses to try and get the most off of someone who only wants their dream pet and be happy and have fun on the site. Suddenly, a non-dog is no longer worth a non-dog, and a Cerubius, Marionette, blah blah blah, is worth 5 to 6 of these nons when they are clearly only worth 2 to 3, but they know they can get more because of this demand. Even in the case of you offering 5 nons to someone requesting 5 nons for their valuable pet, which they already have 6 of that they receive by paying, or maybe a non's worth for each, still isn't enough, and they want more. But you've already traded away nearly your whole account for these pets. There's no point to setting goals on this site anymore. The fun and excitement and hope have been bled dry and replaced with greed and inflation, now dictated by demand and how far people continue to stretch it to take advantage of other people on this site. This site used to be fun, and maybe one day it'll go back to how it used to be. I'm still incredibly appreciative to the talented artists and vigilant moderators for doing all they do to keep Chicken Smoothie alive, but demand is killing this place. I've seen this circling the forums thanks to a certain CS user, and it spoke volumes to me. They put in a smaller thing here. I will read it out and tell you when it ends because they still have more to say. This little thing reads, Please stop feeding demand. Raven is not worth nons. Dragon PPS Cat is not worth the list. Cerubius is not worth 5 nons. Black Advent is not worth non. LT Shima is not worth the list. Very Rare is not worth more than OMG So Rare. Zebras are not worthless. Tribals are not worthless. Rats are not worthless. Nick Sungback PPS is worth more than Joker. Nick Blue Tox is worth more than Joker. Ultra Rare Apple is worth more than Joker. Re-released pets have the same rarity as true dates. Please be aware of how demand is causing the trading economy to crumble. A pet's rarity determines its value. Demand is up to you. And I think they're trying to go back to the December 18th as they re-release pets. People think that if they re-released it, that's not worth the same, even though it should be. It still has the same rarity and everything. I don't know what their problem is. Anyway, back to the original. They say, maybe you should think on that. They say, happy holidays, hope you all achieve your dreams, and then they also posted an edit just saying thank you for your insight. Most people really agreed with them, all that. So there's definitely a big economy on this quote-unquote children's site. This last source I found pretty recently, and it's from a website called Sitejabber. If you don't know what Sitejabber is, you can post reviews on websites that you've used. Not many people go on it, but it still has, I think it's helpful if you're really thinking about using specific sites. My basic understanding of it is that you can review different websites, give them stars, like Amazon reviews, basically. And I'm just going to read a few of these, but it does bring up something very important. So, the most recent review is pretty, well, it's 5 stars. It's kind of one of the best on this. They haven't used this site a lot. It was posted on January, February, March, April 5th, 2021, so very recent. However, after that, it only goes downhill. September 15th, 2021, whenever titled "The administrators were really rude, given 1 star. Whenever you try to suggest ideas to make this site better, they reject it. They're also really rude. Once I made a topic about what color hair do you have, some rude administrator locked it just because a topic like that already existed. I think the whole site's admins and administration should be locked out from this site. They're really unfair because they make custom pets for themselves, not for the people that actually play the game. It's the worst and most annoying thing ever." Now that kind of sounds like a child wrote it, which I don't think they did, but you know, it doesn't get better. June 6th, 2021, titled "Decent, 3 stars. I've never interacted with the community, so I can't tell you what they're like. However, I've always liked hoarding pets, so if you're just into that, then the site is okay for it. It's the kind of site you can forget for weeks at a time, considering they only release pets once a month, and it takes weeks for them to grow up fully. It can get dull because the site has barely changed since 2010. No minigames, no way to interact with the pets in any meaningful way, nothing to earn in game, no goals or anything. Yeah, it's just that boring. It says tip for consumers: if you lose your account, it's pretty easy to restore it as long as you remember your email. People are losing their account? Jeez. This next one is one of the most critical. It is a bit longer. Sorry about that. It is 1 star, titled "Friendly Staff," and then parentheses, not. Posted on April 23rd, 2020. The staff on this website absolutely love to abuse their power at any chance they get, and they're extremely unfriendly to interact with. If you can, please stay as far away as you can from this website. It is managed poorly at best. New events are boring and repetitive. It's always the same thing and lasting shorter and shorter as time goes on. As a child playing this website, I was morbidly horrified to get a PM from any colorful usernames, aka staff. For a child-friendly website, it creates a room of a lot of anxiety, especially when each moderator has a different understanding of the rules, so you get a warning from one, and then are told it's okay to do by another? Hello? To be clear, moderators do not even deal with questionable and potentially upsetting artworks that are posted to their art system. If I had a young child playing this website, I would not want them to see something so gross like this on the only forums they can interact with, when copied at least. Instead, the lovely Ramots replied that it was okay. It is very upsetting and disrespectful, really. One artwork that they did not remove was fetus-based, but the user was banned only after they drew genitalia on the system. Like the questionable things before wasn't already a red flag. Tip for consumers: this site is not a safe place thanks to the majority of moderators managing this site, actually. The rest of the reviews are a lot of the same thing. The only positive ones are talking about how non-competitive it is, or that you can get the site for weeks at a time, months at a time even. Most of them are calling it garbage, and talking about bullying, talking about how terrible the people on the website and how terrible the moderators are, or admins, people who run the website, whatever you want. I will link all these sources in the description, so if you can't understand my reading of it, or if you want to look at it for yourself, you can do that. Conclusion, this site has gone downhill. The only thing that I think could have happened is, like mentioned, this site started in 2008. It is 2022 now. They haven't changed a bunch. They haven't added anything new. When looking through different posts, moderators have changed so much. There's been a bunch of different artists, a bunch of different people who run the website. I don't know who started running it in the first place. But it's changed like every single month. So who you can trust, if that makes sense, with moderators saying different things, rules changing, rarities changing. It's always a gamble if this person is going to be nice or not, because you clearly can't just judge somebody by their cover. I've had an okay experience, but I think it's time to email CS and go through the rigmarole of having them delete my account for me, because you can't do this by yourself and you have to email them, and they want you to not delete your account and they want you to come back, but I really don't want my stuff on there anymore. If I don't want to go through that, I'll just give away the pets and then change everything and never go back on it. I'm sorry, I'm getting mad. I hate when people yell at me. I hate yelling at people. I'm sorry if this scared you. I'm really, really sorry if I got mad and that scared you. But even though this was poorly scripted, trying to get this out before the month ends, as you can tell, I am very stressed right now. I hope you have a good night. I hope all your dreams come true. I love you. Please subscribe. I need to buy bread. I am so tired. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Hey, sorry, I meant to put this in somewhere, but I wasn't sure where to put it, so I guess I'll just put it at the end here, if anyone is still around. I want to continue doing videos like this, because even though I don't do a super bunch of extensive research, the stuff that I do know is from me personally using the website. I would like to talk about others that I've used, although I haven't used everything on this earth, obviously. Some people have talked about or told me to try talking about Tumblr, which I only used Tumblr maybe ever once. So if I did talk about that website, I would probably need to do more research, get opinions from other people who were very into the website, stuff like that. So if I do end up doing that, that's going to take a little bit longer to get out than this one did. But I really enjoy doing these, and I hope that I can keep doing them, even if people stop watching them. Really, I have nothing else better to do. Yeah, now this is the real end of the video. Okay, go watch something else, please.
It's been taken hold, and this dream is getting old. And I'm searching every part.